Hey guys, Loman02. I actually thought the Vintage Queue was going to be over. I've been gone for about a week for this holiday season, but it is not. I probably should have checked when it ended. It's right there down on the left, huh? So, pick one, pack one. Eureka, no thanks. Grave Titan, pretty fair. Kithian, well, you know my predilections, guys. I'm not going to take a 5-mana Planeswalker. Thunder by Hellkite's underwhelming. Ulamog's just a big, dumb green dude. I guess he works okay with Eureka. So, this pack. There's a Signet too, but the Signet's kind of an underwhelming color pie. There's Warm Power Stone, which is probably the best open pick to take this early. That or Celestial Colonnade. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Swords to Plowshares here. Because I think it is it's still the best removal, right? And if we wheel the Kithian, well, we may go into our deck. But I think Swords to Plowshares is a pretty defensible pick in that pack. There was not a dual land. There was a Signet, which was kind of like a crappy Signet. And then there was really nothing else. Okay, so let's look through this pack. I mean, Blood Crypt and Savannah are not the best of dual lands. There's Lightning Helix, which is a good control card, but I really don't want to go into two colors yet without knowing what I'm going to be playing. Could take Blood Crypt to go into some sort of Mardu-based deck. Could take Savannah and hope to wheel one of the white cards out of this pack. I don't think I dislike that. I mean, we could go into, like, a Junk Shell. I think the most open pick is taking Savannah here. I think it is better than Blood Crypt with my first pick. Trinket Mage is also consideration. Because, I mean, this is a powered cube. We could pick something up. I mean, this is just pack one. It's not land tax this early. I mean, like, my heart wants to just take land tax and force my typical deck. Because forcing that deck just tends to work out. Savannah is not the highest pickup either on a dual land. So it tends to go a little bit later. But I do think, and I've yet to kind of show it, there is a good 3-color, like, junk deck. Yeah, it's not Relic Seeker. What do I think it is here? I'm kind of partial towards Figure of Destiny, actually. Just a good, efficient thing. It's not Acidic Slime. Acidic Slime is just too slow. Relic Seeker is a powerful card. Scrapheap Scoundrel is also very good. Just a good dude. I'm going to take the 1-drop here. I know I go into aggressive decks very often in this format. Alright, there's a Marsh Flatch, which is pretty good. There's also Thalia and Council's Judgment. I mean, Council's Judgment will likely not wheel. It'll probably be, well, it may. 1, 2. Alright, Nicol Bolas playing. How many are in here? This will wheel. Nicol Bolas will wheel. And then, like, Duretti is kind of marginal. I'm going to pick up the Thalia here, though. So what I'm going to try to build is, like, a 3-color, kind of aggressive mid-range deck, like a Hate Bears 3-color deck. That's kind of what I want to try to do. So, like, pick up good fixing. I mean, so if I wanted to do that, like, the better pickup that would have been there to get the Marsh Flats, just to have the fixing for 2 of the colors that I kind of want to go into. Then you have this pack, which really has nothing for any of the decks that I was talking about. Could take a Breeding Pool here, though, which I think is the correct pick in this pack. If we want to go in, I mean, it's not Eidolon. It's certainly not Monastery Mentor. It could be Coercive Portal. It could be Strike. Lightning Strike is also an open pick. We could just go back to being in an open posture and take, like, the Eidolon of the Great Revel. We'd probably take the Lightning Strike if we wanted to go back into an open posture for an aggressive deck. But I think I'm going to take Breeding Pool. Okay, well, white's not closed off. Smuggler's Copter's the take here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 10 here. Lightning Greaves will probably come back around. I'm going to take Smuggler's Copter. It could be Stud of War, but it's probably Revelark and Lightning Greaves will comes back around. I'm going to take the Smuggler's Copter. It's a very strong card. Okay, we could take Brain Maggot if we want to go into 3-color. Or we could take Shambling Vent to fix for 3-color. Huh. I don't like tapped lands in this, but I think I'm going to take the mana fixing here. Okay, well, there's a Kitesail Freebooter, which is a card I would very much like to have for this deck, but I think I'm going to take Scrubland because it just fixes so well. And white-black tends to be the way I pair this, but I could see playing 3-color, and I've always wanted to play like the 3-color Hate Bears deck, but I think it's a little harder to do. Alright, so Kithian came around, yep. And yeah, so it's Celestial Colonnade, which is kind of interesting because I think it's a little better than that. I wouldn't mind taking it like 4th or 5th. So the white aggro deck is open, but what I'm hoping to do here that's going to be hopefully distinguishable from what I typically do is go into like a junk-based shell. Alright, pretty easy. It's not History of Benalia. It's definitely land tax. Your land tax is a very powerful effect. Scrap Heap Scrounger is very good. Is it better than Parallax Wave? Parallax Wave is good too, but it's more of a sideboard card. I think I'd be happy to start Scrap Heap Scrounger, especially if I'm playing black, which right now I've got two lands that fix for black. And you don't even per se have to have black in your deck, even if you can just splash black a little bit, which right now we can. It's fine. You know, he can be dead for a while, and you can just bring him back eventually. Oh wow. You know, for this deck, I think I'm going to take Marsh Flats because it gets two of my two of my lands that fix for me over Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment is very good, but I think I want to stay as open as I can. I mean, given I have a bunch of aggro cards, but I want to stay open as I can to like my other options in the next couple packs because I would like to play 3-color. Now, note we have given up on Overgrown Tomb, Shock by You, which is unfortunate. And this pack is, you know, I could just let the time run out and I would not be unhappy. I'll take, I guess, Hex Mage. Oh, both my cards came back. Well, I'm not going to take Factory in this deck. I have good mana right now, and I don't really want to have Factory to screw up my mana. So I'm going to take the 1-drop. I'm going to obviously be base white in this deck, but I still think Factory is more of a liability in the 3-color varieties of this deck. It's one of the kind of the interesting things about like the Death and Taxes deck is I think it's actually kind of flexible. Like you can be a 3-color Death and Taxes deck, I think, in Cube. Like I know you can be, but it just takes getting the right cards. And I'm kind of trying to jump into that more heavily right now. All right, Undis Prowler. Well, that's a no one's on Reanimator. I heard they just didn't want that card. It is kind of a lower pickup for Reanimator. It's an enabling piece. Not a lot of other decks want it. It could be played in this deck though. It's not a horrible card. It's not a horrible aggressive card. A 3/1 flyer for 2 is still good. I mean, yes, they can discard cards to it, and that could be a liability in the Reanimator mirrors, like where they are not Reanimator mirrors, but the Reanimator matches where they just dump a big dude and reanimate, and you're just like, all right, well, I lose. So it can be a liability, but oftentimes, you know, discarding a card is an actual cost, not a benefit. Not always true, but a lot of times it is. What do I think of this build so far? It doesn't seem too bad to me. I mean, it's got some pretty good low ends. All right. All right. Well, there's an Urborg, which is a good card. Not horrible for this deck, but I think its chances of wheeling are fairly high. Sorcerer's Spyglass is probably what I'm going to pick up here. This is not a great pack for us. It's not Orzhov Signet. You don't want Signets in this style of deck, but I'm going to pick up the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Hope to replace it at some point with the Phyrexian Revoker if I can. Windswept Heath. That's a very good one as well. Also Gideon the Trials, but how white cards have been wheeling, I think it'll come around, to be honest. And there's not another card for me here, so I'm going to take Windswept Heath. Get Savannah or Scrubland, right? Yeah. The mana looks great here. It's an odd thing to be saying for a white weenie deck, but the mana does look great. I do think Gideon has a chance of wheeling. I don't know if he will or not, but I think he has a pretty good likelihood. The odd thing to me is that we have not seen a lot of good 3-drops for this deck. All right, Palace Jailer is one of the top 4 drops for this deck, and it's the card we're going to take here. Really, there's not a lot else for us. Just look through it and just verify that. I mean, Fauna Shaman, yes, you could play it in this. Animate Dead is not just. It's a good. If you have the best of fixing, it's not a bad value card to play. All right, Banishing Light, Mutavault, Legion's Landing. Well, the right pickup here is probably Banishing Light, or I could take Legion's Landing and try to wheel Mutavault. I do think this deck never wants a shortage of 1-drops. What a wheel. Mutavault will probably wheel out of this pack. Banishing Light may not. Legion's Landing has a high chance of wheeling, though, too. I'm going to pick up Banishing Light and try to wheel the 1-drop. Alright, Gideon is another top-end 4-drop. The best being Armageddon, but these two are really good. I like Unexpectedly Absent a lot. It may wheel, seeing how this draft's gone. I think folks undervalue it a lot as well. So that also gives it a good chance of wheeling. Alright, Blade Splicer is just fine. If I got the Unexpectedly Absent back, I'd probably try to cut the Banishing Light. I think 2 pieces of removal tends to be good enough in Vintage Cube. Like in Legacy Cube, you generally want like 3, maybe even 4, because there's more creature-based decks. So the green cards you tend to want to play in this are like Kasali Pride Mage is pretty good in this deck. Reclamation Sage is fine. Knight of the Autumn is pretty good. A lot of artifact removal in white. Or, I'm sorry, green. Wasteland is sweet. Hissing Quagmire is just fine. But Elsbeth is... So basically now what we want is a Geddon. Alright, Godless Shrine. Yeah, I'll pick it up. Okay, probably Baneslayer Angel is one more top end. It's just like a top end card against like mid range decks. Not happy to start Baneslayer, but I'll play her if I have to. Alright, yes, Gideon did wheel. Thright Dusk is cool tech, but Gideon, probably the card this deck wants more. It's less mana. So that's some pretty sweet stuff going on. I wouldn't mind some like Moxen as well. Just some good fast mana. We may not even want the Shambling Vent in this deck. It's kind of iffy. I'm gonna put it in the sideboard for now. If you don't have enough, sometimes you'll fix for it. But I don't even have a black requirement right now. That's the thing. I don't even have a black requirement. I'm having to hope to like pick up a Bob or some discard. I would not mind playing some discard in this deck. Okay, this pack never really had anything for us. We could take Mazavith. Moat is just really bad for us to see. We're hoping not to see a Moat. Okay, yeah, Legion's Landing came around. Necromancy, also a good card, but... Alright, Unexpectedly Absent came around. That's pretty sweet as well. I'm not going to cut the Banishing Light yet, but I probably will when it goes to building time. We're going to see how Pack 3 treats us, because Pack 2 is pretty much done. We got the wheels we wanted. This is not a queue, so this is League, but the card I would like to see the least is probably Firebolt. Hero's Downfall. If they're paying 3 mana to kill my stuff, I don't generally care. Angel of Sanctions. That card's actually not bad in Legacy Cube. I don't really like it as much in Vintage Cube. 5 mana is still a lot. Alright, Mind Twist is quite powerful. Vidalcan Shackles, not a bad card. I mean, in the right deck, not in this deck. Field of Ruin, I found to be too slow in this style of deck. Garruk Relentless is like continuous removal. We could take a Mind Twist. Mind Twist or Bitter Blossom are the two that are standing out. It's probably going to be a Mind Twist, I think, here. If it was Thoughtseize or Mind Twist, I would take Thoughtseize every time. Inquisition and Mind Twist, I'd probably take Inquisition, actually. I'm going to take Mind Twist here, even though I don't really care for it as much in this style of deck. This pack's a little harder. And I'm not quite sure. It's not Imp Seal. It's either Ophiomancer or Oblivion Ring, right? But I already have an Oblivion Ring effect. I'm not a huge fan of Ophiomancer. The card's just kind of like a good value dude. It's like a recurring nightmare kind of target. I mean, we'd probably take Oblivion Ring. Yeah, I don't like this pack. It's not Angel of Invention. That'll wheel for sure. I guess I'll take Ophiomancer and put it in the board for now. I don't really have black cards that I'm like, I'll play Mind Twist in this deck, but I don't have ramp, so that's kind of one of the issues with the liabilities it has. We could pick up an Armageddon still. I'm kind of hoping to see at least one Geddon or Ravages, because that is the last piece of top end. And then like some good 2-drops and 3-drops. I'm actually, interestingly enough, this is like this is a weirder draft for this deck. Alright, it's not balanced. Selfless Spirit, pretty good. Bob will probably wheel. I'm going to hope Bob wheels, because I will play that black card in this deck 100% of the time. It's a great black card for this build, but Selfless Spirit I really need in this build right now. Alright, Adano Vanguard has a higher likelihood of wheeling, I think, over Leonin Relic Warder. And I'm going to put the Relic Warder in my deck, because I actually have not gotten any good green dudes to blow up lands. But I don't need to per se be playing green. I just wanted to leave the option open when I drafted it this time. And right now I think we do have a very viable splash for our green in our deck, because we have basically 3 lands that fix 4 right now. 2 Marsh Flats, Windswept Heath, and then the Savannah. And I suppose land tax can want to play a basic forest, but you oftentimes don't want to play basic forest or swamp. I'll probably play 1 basic swamp in this with the Bob wheels. So I have Mind Twist plus Bob plus Scrap Heap. Alright, I think this is a pretty easy Porcelain Legionnaire, but let's reread this card. That card's kind of medium. There's also an Inquisition of Kozilek. I'm a little creature light right now. I'm going to take the Porcelain Legionnaire just to up my creature count a bit. Alright, Dismember I will play. Actually, Tide Hollow Scholar's tough, too. Alright, Tide Hollow I think I'm going to play over Dismember. I got the Banishing Light, the Unexpectedly Absent, and the Swords. Tide Hollow Scholar is if you can play Tide Hollow Scholar, it's a very good card. It's a very good hate card, hate bear. Unfortunately, they cut Leonin Arbiter, which I think, it's not really a very good interactive card. It's kind of an uninteractive card. But it's very strong in this style of deck. This is a very low to the ground deck. We have 5 lands in our deck right now that we're showing. We're probably not going to play Savannah. We can probably cut that out. I haven't seen a lot of green coming around. Concealed Courtyard over pretty much nothing. Well, we'll take the Concealed Courtyard. I'm not going to take a Lyra Dawnbringer. She's only marginally better than the Baneslayer, and there's no good black or green cards in this pack that we would want. So I'll pick up the non-basic here that I cannot get with land tax or my fetches, but fixes my mana even better. All right, Caracas or Remorseful Cleric. Oddly enough, so I'm at 27 minus 5, 22. I am a little playable light, so I'm going to pick up Remorseful Cleric here. It does fly. Caracas is very nice, but I think I'm going to give up on it here for Remorseful Cleric just to up my creature density, and I'm a little bit playable light right now, and I don't want to play Baneslayer, Unis Prowler, or Angel of Sanctions, or the Ophiomancer. So yeah. I mean, we could go 16 land in this deck. This is not going to be a 15 lander, so I probably want 24 playables is what the break is at the end of the day. Bitter Blossom did come around, so we could play that. It's actually not a bad card for this deck. It's a good sideboard card. I don't know if I'm going to start it. It's not Brightling. Brightling is not a card I'm a huge fan of, even though I'm a little 3 light right now. All right, I'll pick up the Bitter Blossom here. I'll definitely pick up Oblivion Ring, I think, over Angel of Invention. And Bob came around. Rashad Port is great, but... And it's funny, I don't have, like, LD in this deck. Downhill Vanguard came around, too. Over Anguish I'm making? Probably. This is one of the more aggressive builds of this deck I've ever had. Probably not Sword, probably Hero. And I may play Hero in this build. Pick up Avacyn. She's a good sideboard option, I suppose. And Exhume. So Reanimator's not a thing in my queue. We're 31 cards minus 5, so that puts us down to, 26. So we probably need to cut 2 cards from this. Sorcerer's Spyglass is probably going the way of the board because it's just an attack. If I had, like, the Revoker over it, I would probably play the Revoker. But I think this is going to go the way of the board. Smuggler's Copter, too good to cut. This is really a 2-drop. Maybe it's Banishing Light. I could just see it being Banishing Light. This is 29 minus 5. Let's go ahead and add basic lands. So we don't want this. We'll do this right here, I think. And this is 16 lands. I think with land tax, 16 is fine. I'm not a Geddon deck, though, which is kind of a bummer. But, I think land tax is still worth playing, even without the Geddons. We have 3 walkers. Yeah, 3 planeswalkers. Some discards, some cardage right here in the form of Dark Confidant, some card advantage engines. Smuggler's Copter to kind of filter our draw. Scrouger's kind of a card advantage card. Tax is definitely a card advantage card. The walkers are all kind of card advantage. I kind of like this build. Mind Twist, obviously, card advantage, but it's probably going to be a pretty fair twist. It'll probably be like, a turn 4 twist or something like that. Like, if we can ramp under them. Basically, I think we need to use Mind Twist like Armageddon. Like, basically, like, they're going to still have the mana, but they don't have the options. They have to draw off the top of their deck to do the options. I think that's how Twist is going to work in this deck. I'm not really a huge fan of Twist in this build, but I want to try it. I've never tried Twist in this build. Actually, I have not played Twist a ton in Vintage Cube. I feel like it's kind of on, like, the same, like, it has the same sort of issue that Channel does. Like, Channel is either, like, the best thing ever to be doing, or it's just a completely dead card. I think that's kind of the same case with Mind Twist in this cube. And it could be more correct to actually just put Bitter Blossom in there over Mind Twist, although Blossom's just kind of slow. Like, it's a very good incremental card. If we play against, like, a blue control deck, I will definitely throw it in there, because, like, they just can't... It's very difficult to beat, unless they're, like, a combo control deck. But if they're, like, a pure, like, Planeswalker value deck, then I think it's very tough to beat it. Hand looks fine. This is a keeper. Thalia is a little bit dangerous in this hand, because they have a bunch of spells, but, we'll keep it. I may even wait off on playing her for a turn if I can, like, unexpectedly absent, like, a Mana Dork or something like that. But we got a turn 1 play. It's a 1/1 lifelinker, which is not a great card, but it's a 1-drop, which is kind of where you want to be for making sure you hit the curve in this deck. So, land, Legion's Landing, and 1/1 lifelinker. Go. Vampire, I believe, right? Yep. Alrighty. So, we've pretty much thrown our flag out there. They know what we're up to. Let's find out what our opponent's up to. Alright, so they are green. Okay, I'm probably going to put that back on top of the deck. In hopes of drawing a land. So I'm going to put this back on top of their deck, because I kind of want them to replay it. In worst case, if I draw into a land... Yep, you just redraw it next turn. If they have probably lands in their hand, but if they have to redraw that, it's kind of bad for them. And if they're replaying it, I can Swords to Plowshares at next turn. Now, if they play a turn 2 Rofellos, my ideal is draw land and then bolt, or not bolt it, but plow it. No land? Oof. All right, draw. That was a great draw. All right, so this dude. Yeah, if they kept a one-lander, that seems really good to me. We got a lot of information out of that Unexpectedly Absent. That's why I'm a big fan of the card. The card does a lot of work, has done a lot of work historically for me. I just have always been pretty satisfied with it. And I'm not saying we're winning this game. They could have a Rofellos here and be like, bam, here it is. Okay, Grim Monolith. Cool. More artifact ramp. Cool. Alrighty. We got another one too. Sweet. Alright, so now what do we want to draw? Leonin, land is probably still best, but Leonin Relic Warder would be pretty decent. I think I'm going to play this gentleman out right here. Try to pump this guy up and then get him for 3. Come on, Moto. Speed up. Alright, there we go. And then we can probably have 6 here, right? Yeah, we can have 6. We don't have any fast effects. No instants to play, especially with 0 mana. Alright, so Lotus Bloom, whatevs. And nothing. Alright, so they're trying to untap the Grim. So is it a creature, or... I'm going to play Thalia out here. I'm just going to get one more thing down. Turn off my auto yields because I will be using the Legion's Landing to probably put a counter on the Soldier. Yep. Get in there, you guys. So they're probably untapping Grim Monolith. My hope is that this stops, something like obnoxious, like an Ugin or something. Or like a Green Sun or something like that. Yep, get pumped. Alright, yep, untap your Monolith. That is the hope, and if we hit a land next turn, we can at least Gideon. If it's a big creature, we can Gideon next turn to, stop it from attacking, or stop it from hurting our creatures. But they have a lot of mana coming up. They're actually going to pay 1 for that, too, if the Thalia is still alive at the end of that. So we'll see. So they kind of had, a big mana, looks like possibly dead-end draw. Now, if they have, just Ugin or, Karn in hand, Karn, is that castable? It's castable with 1 more land drop. So if they have Karn, they're just, sitting here doing nothing for a turn. Karn doesn't really worry me on this board either, because what's he going to do? Exile one of my creatures, and then I'll attack and kill the Karn. It's pretty medium at that position. Alright, they're casting something out. If it's a 4-mana Planeswalker, then they have to tap the Grim Monolith to do it, which takes them off doing something really big the next turn. This is a Green Suns for a few more. But they're still limited on what they can get with it. We'll see what they get, though. Oh, Mere Battlesphere, okay. Well, that's obnoxious. At a minimum, that is obnoxious. Now, I kind of want to hit land. Alrighty. Alrighty, go ahead, my friend. If I had a land next turn, then I can Elsbeth and send the Gideon over the top ropes, or one of these fine threats I have on the board. Alright, no attacks, cool. Alright. Alright, Elsbeth. I wonder if they have counter magic in their deck. It doesn't seem like they would. Alright. This is going to come over right. Yeah, I'm just going to send this over the top. Alright, 5 damage. And feeling like we're doing okay here. I mean, we'll see what happens, but maybe they can, like, cast a Crater Hoof next turn. They would have enough for that, so that would probably kill me, right? That would probably do it. Although, I don't know. No, it probably would. I don't know, actually. That may not be enough. It may be, actually. Now, with the 5 dudes, yeah, it may be. Alright, so they untap this. So, Crater Hoof would probably win the game. This is coming off this turn, right? But it costs 1 to play. So it cuts down their mana by 1. So what do you use to tap for it? Because you had to pay 1 for it. Yeah, if we get Crater Hoofed, then we can just lose. But I think that's one of the few cards I can think of. Or like some sort of Emrakul or Ugin. Like, it have to be something that flies too. I don't know what gets me here. Okay, they paid 1. Well, what have you got, my friend? What big thing do you got? Could be the small Emrakul. This is what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's not quite enough. With only 0 cards in the graveyard. So they have 10 mana to work with. They could Green Suns for all of it to play out a Crater Hoof Behemoth. And I don't think that actually kills me. That's 6 creatures, so plus 6, plus 6, plus 6, plus 6, plus 6. That's a 5/5. Okay. They're going there. Are they going to board wipe? Okay. Alright, I'll block. I mean, I think it's free. I think they're either going to board wipe or do something. I don't think there's a Morbid card in this set. And I'll go down essentially 1 life because of my lifelink or trading off. Alright, so are we upheavaling? Yeah, we're going to upheaval. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So they get to float 3. Correction, yeah, 3. They get to float 3 mana. This is annoying, but what can you do? Okay. Yep. Yep. Go ahead, my friend. So the old I'm losing, I have to upheaval. Upheaval. Cool. They can tap this now and untap the Grim Monolith, which I think is a solid play. I like that. Okay. Okay, they're not going to untap their Monolith this turn, which I think is actually worse for them. So if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they wouldn't quite be able to recast the dude next turn. All right, Ancestral Visions, whatever, or Vision rather. That's whatevs. All right. Cast this dude out. Can pump him next turn if they don't block. We'll discard this. Probably this. And probably Thalia, right? Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm playing Thalia this game. I think it's going to be too essential that I use the Gideon to stop their next play. Alright, cool. So you can get some beats in. Actually, they can't cast it right now, can they? They're still at 6. All right, buddy. Hit him for 2. Untap their Grim Monolith, I assume. Alright, this is going to be the big fella. I assume. I don't know why they didn't untap the Grim Monolith, but alrighty. Alright. Yep. The tap out for the big fella. Cool. You got it. Alright, your turn. And then we try to fly over next turn. That's the plan, at least. That is the plan. These sort of upheavals are the most annoying. It's just like, come on, man. Just concede. They can still get it, though. I mean, like, it's Crater Hoof is not a thing anymore. Like, that's not a thing they can do. That is not on the menu. They had to untap the Monolith, I think. I mean, Horde Queen's not in this, so I don't know what it's going to be they got here. What have you got, man? What have you got? Just show it to me. Show me a flyer and I'll buy it. Yep. So down a mana, no colorless sources. Have Dismember, basically, and Dismember would kill you. Okay, so I can't think of anything that beats me here. Alright, I'm going to show this land again, because I already showed it to him. Do this. Elsbeth. You have Force of Will? Alright, no, we're just done. Alright. Cool. Okay, so do I want Sorcerer Spyglass? It's not stop mana abilities, so that's kind of bad. Their deck looks pretty powerful. Theomancer looked good against what they were doing. Theomancer is actually interesting against green, just in general, on general principle, right? Just trades really well. Mind Twist seems kind of marginal, actually. I think I like Theomancer better than Mind Twist, just to dump their hand fast. They had a bunch of artifact mana. And there's a debate on whether we want Banishing Light and Oblivion Ring. We very well may. And Bitter Blossom does not seem horrible either. It's probably better than Hero Blade Hold. I think I'll put... Well, is it Blossom or Hero? I think it's Blossom over Hero. Hero just doesn't attack well into green dudes. I mean, it's a good finishing move, but it's like a 2-turn thing. This hand's fine. It doesn't have black mana to fix for Blossom, but it's got turn 1 Stud. It's got turn 2 Smuggler's Copter, which is a flyer, which can filter for black mana if need be. It's got good removal. It's got Gideon, which is kind of also actually good removal or a threat. Like, I think this hand's fine. Not the best hand I've ever seen, but it's also not bad. And this is more of a beatdown deck. It doesn't have Geddon, so like it's kind of hard to go off that way. Alright, birds again. No 1-mana accelerant. Nice. Never lucky, right? Alright, well, drawing the Theomancer now without the black mana fix is kind of nasty, but we've got Smuggler's Copter. I mean, we've also got Unexpectedly Absent. If they play like turn 2 Raphaelos, I may just Unexpectedly Absent that thing, possibly. Okay. Well, that's a lot of fast mana. I have like a Thran Dynamo or something. Worn Power Stone. Alright, 4-drop. Lodestone. Okay, Chalice for 2. Whatever. I think that's okay. 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 I'm going to do this now. Like, part of me really wants to unexpectedly absent that Everflowing Chalice right back on the top of their deck. But the other part of me thinks, like, I really have to get a threat down to actually make my deck work. I can't just sit back and play control. Like, I have to get the aggro part of my deck down. So if they have, like, a turn 3, I guess it would be artifact that's just a bomb, then I guess we're going to get had by it. But, okay, you know. What can you do? Like, if they have the big fella again, that's a thing, but... Okay, Muldrifter is A-okay. They're hard casting it too, which I kind of like. So that means they needed cards. Well, Smuggler's Copter will get in there. I'll get in for a couple points of damage. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. I think for now, I'm going to actually get rid of Bitter Blossom. I think that makes the most sense. Go for Gideon, probably, or are we just going to... I'm going to Gideon him here. Alright, here you go. I think Ophiomancer is going to be more relevant. Their mana is out of control. I don't have a way to really control their mana at this point. I could top their Overflowing Chalice. They just saw 2 new cards off the Muldrifter, so, you know, what does that prop for me, I guess, is the question I have to ask. Alright, some big dumb dude. Okay, Garruk. Okay, well, Garruk will probably get attacked. Alright, untap. What else you got? Okay, secure a Tribalder, whatevs. Okay, Elves, cool. Let me get the Scrub-a-Dub land here. I don't think I need to do that yet, actually. I was debating on trying to kill this thing, but I'm going to attack him with both. Alright, get in there with both. They can block, but then like they're not really pumping to do much. They're just, they can kill one of my walkers. Yep. I discard the land here. Yep. That's fine. And they can choose to block here. And how do they block is the question. Alright, they block there. Yep, and that makes sense. That block makes sense. They get more land. And do they block with their Mole Drifter? Or are they trying to do like a Crater Hoof win? They do not. Oh, they're not trying to do it. Okay, yep, you got it. Okay. Put a dude in play and say go. Okay, Ancestral Vision doesn't really bother me at all. That's just... I'm trying not to let the game go that long, if I were honest. I just don't want them to be able to overrun with their Garruk with a bunch of dudes on the board. That would be bad for me, so I have to kind of threaten it a bit. Alright, untap. Yep. And what else do we have? One card. So what is the one card? I think it's land. Alright, yep, you're out of cards, aren't you? Have this back. Actually, you know what? Cancel. Have this back. I don't believe you have a draw anymore. I mean, you can counter this, but that's kind of whatever, I think. Alright, they're just done. Yeah, they had nothing in hand. That's kind of what we figured out. They were like, alright, if you play a land and do nothing on that turn, like, you got absolutely jacking nothing. Jacking shit, if you will. So yeah, yep. Black, white, death, and taxes. Didn't really get there on the green this time, guys, but the one interesting thing about this deck is it's much more of an aggressive deck as far as how it's built. It does not have the Armageddon package on the top end. It does have the top end 4-drops outside of Armageddon. Had green fixing for days, but just did not see any good green cards in our queue, which is generally odd. Generally, you expect to see like Knight of Autumn and like Reclamation Sage. They're cards I'll play. This hand is very heavy in 4-drops, but I think I'm going to keep it on the draw. Because I do have a good 2 against like artifact-based decks. We don't want to play this against the last deck we were playing against, but otherwise it's medium. I mean, it's got the Leonin Relic Order to get some like early busted mana if they have that. If they play Signet on 2, I feel very good about this hand. Like Signet on 2 is what this hand wants to see most of the time. Because they just Leonin Relic Order, take away their Signet, take them off their mana curve as they would have expected it to develop based on the given keep, and then hopefully draw into a 3-drop over the next couple draws, or a 1. I mean, a 1 would be like the ideal. Yep, go ahead, my friend. So let's see what happens here. Alright, Lotus Bloom. Alright, so they are Storm. Okay. Artifact. Or Ponder, okay. So Lotus Bloom. They're probably a Storm deck of some variety. Probably High Tide Storm. It's possible. Thalia is probably one of our better draws against a deck that's running Lotus Bloom, Island Ponder. I tend to think Thalia is going to be good against it. Alright, that card is also very good against Lotus Bloom. And I will use it 100% of the time. They may just pop it during upkeep just to keep me from owning them with it. Alright. And obviously, the other good thing with this hand is the mana is perfect, right? So this has what, 2 turns left? Yes, it does. Alright, so this turn, I am just going to play this gentleman out. I don't like it, but I'm going to do it because I need to get a threat on them. And I want to be able to do the Unexpectedly Absent play next turn. I think I am going to go for it, though. Especially if they're like low on land count here. Okay. Another option is this, guys, and I opted against my plan. I'm just going to play out. Alright, I'm not going to prevent damage off of the Ancient Tomb. I want to let them Lotus Bloom, because if they play like a big thing off of it, I can Unexpectedly Absent it and play out the Selfless Spirit in the same turn. And having a thing Unexpectedly Absent that you use Lotus Bloom, a perishable resource, to play tends to be pretty good. So they're going to get this, and they're going to have just a metric crap ton of mana. So if they can win this turn, they can win this turn, and that kind of stinks, but what are you going to do? We're playing a pretty fair deck, so we have to try to play an incremental game of Magic, kind of like what we're doing right now. So Lotus Bloom on the deck. Now, if we do get the turn pass, and nothing happens, I will probably play out Selfless Spirit and then try to Unexpectedly Absent the Bloom on their upkeep. They'll probably pop it just to protect their draw, because their draw is probably worth it if they don't have anything to do this turn. So what do we do? Nothing. Alright. Well, now I'm a little suspicious. Mystic Confluence. Alright, I'm going to put down an emblem. This isn't checking out with me. Like, I think they have a Mystic Confluence. They're trying to get value out of it by flipping my Gideon and my Leonin Relic Warder back to hand. They would have to use the Bloom to do that, because the Relic Warder kind of just, like, owns that play, but I'm just not... Something's fishy here. Something smells really rotten to me, and I don't like it. So I'm going to play out Selfless Spirit. If they want to counter it and force me to pay 3 and bounce my Leonin Relic Warder and draw a card, that's fine. Actually, they wouldn't want to do that, would they? They'd have to do that on end step. Okay, so end step, are they going to try to do that? Okay, let's see what they got here. Like, could be bounce 2 and then draw. Yeah, I'm feeling like a Mystic Confluence here. That really feels like what's going on. That is exactly what's going on. Alright. That is exactly what was up. So we made a good call there, I think, in not throwing the Gideon out. Alright, take this back on top of your deck. You may draw this again this turn. Now they have 3 new cards, so anything could happen here, but this is generally going to be pretty detrimental if we take away 3 of their mana. And force them to draw this piece of crap on turn 5. You know, turn 5 drawing Lotus Bloom is pretty horrible, so they may just pop it and try to cast some nonsense in their upkeep. So I think we played around this as best we can. We can still lose this game. Like, I have no clue. 7 cards is a ton. It's a ton of cards. So who knows what's up. My hope is they'll just like try to cast some big nonsense this turn. I'll Palace Jailer it and then just win the game. But I think playing like one of my other 4-drops into that. Alright, they just redraw it. Cool. Well, what can you do with your mana? Alright, more black mana. They have like a Grave Titan? Blue-black with Bloom. Very interesting. It could just be Storm. Alright, they rehang this thing. That is groovy. Too easy. They're not showing Cryptic Command mana, so they can't tap bounce or tap counter. Alright, cool. Something big. Alright, Memory Jar. Alright, they are trying to do some nonsense here. Should I play around Force Spike? I don't think Force Spike is actually in this cube. I'm just going to play Hero out, just because this kills them like very easily next turn. Yep, 4/4. Take the beat down. I guess Palace Jailer was probably just as right, but I mean, I possibly could have left mana up here because I could draw into like Swords to Plowshares and want to like blow up a Palinchron. Actually, you know what? I like that line better. I like playing out the Windswept Heath, fetching Forge to basic planes to not show them my additional non-basic, and leaving up Swords to Plowshares for like a Palinchron. I think that was more correct actually, but. Even that all said, like, we can't die, right? Like, this means... Let me read this thing again. As long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. So they have to bounce my Gideon, and they have to mill me or kill me with Tendrils. So they have to do all that. And they're at a very low life total. So it's going to be a time spiral, right? I think. Well, we'll see. I should turn off my audio just in case I need to sack the Selfless Spirit. The problem with, like, the untap effects is that the shelf life on Ancient Tomb is really low right now. So tapping it is obviously a big cost when you're at 4. You can only have 2 taps with it, so it's 4 mana out of that thing if they have untapped cards like Frantic Search. Well, actually, they can only tap it once until they're dead, so they would need to like use something like Collective Brutality to gain 2 and kill one of my dudes. I could have been too hasty in the Leonin Relic Warder. I still think it was the right play to just get it out there to get a threat on the board and start like clocking them. I still stand by that, I think. Yeah, whatever this is, it can't be that relevant. Okay, untap your lands. Cool. So they'll float 2 black off of this. Now they cannot tap the Ancient Tomb, so they could try to like Tendrils me for just a little bit of mana to go up on life so they can reuse their mana. That could be a thing. Okay. So now they have 3 mana left available. With a land drop, I believe. So they have a land, up to a land drop. Alright, sack. Yep. Well, they're going to have a free look at some of my cards. I think they're going to have a tough time going off this turn, though. Yep. Alright, ritual happens. Yes, sir. Can they kill the Gideon and kill me, is the question. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to be a little short on blue mana, but there are certainly cards. And I will say this, I mean, it maybe sounds a little conceited. I do like the way I played this so far. I do like the fact that we did not attack with Gideon and we made the emblem instead. Alright, yep, cool. Get some more black mana. What is this going to be, like Yawgmoth's Will? Will could make sense, but they're tapped out. So, like, how do they untap their mana or make a bunch of blue? They'd have to get, like, Lotus and have Will in hand, or have Lotus in hand and get Will. That could do it at that point, because then they pop Lotus, make blue, Will, get back all the mana that's black, get back the Lotus, make more blue mana, and then cast Mystic Confluence into Tendrils or into Brain Freeze, and that would work. So we'll see. I mean, if they have Lotus. LED would do it too. So I think they have fairly limited interaction. Yeah, they're just done. Okay, I was going to say, I think we had them here. I think they were too short on mana for this. Alright, Memory Jar is a card in their deck. Do I want to bring in Sorcerer's Spyglass for it? I don't think I do. Well, Theomancer and Bitter Blossom are both just very bad. Honestly, I think we just resub, guys. I don't think there's much we need to change. We're the aggressive deck. Aggressive decks will tend to beat the living snot out of Storm, because Storm just tends to be slower in Cube. It's a lot slower, a little more laborious. And we even have Title of Scholar and Mind Twist, which are both, stellar cards against Storm. In this format, especially. I mean, they're good in any format against Storm. Yeah, this hand's a keep. I mean, it's got 1-drop, 2-drop. I don't think you can refuse this. The 4-drop is not an epic level 1. Best draw, probably Twist on turn 2, and then go for Twist for 2 on 3. Alright, well, Plains is not our best draw, but beggars cannot be choosers. Getting into the minimum is pressure. He's something you got to deal with. Alright, Signet, cool. Relic Warder, probably best draw at this point. Lotus Bloom, cool. Well, Thalia is probably a game ender, so I'm going to play around here. Thalia is something that the Storm deck never wants to see. I mean, it's this and Lodestone Golem are just horrendous. Lodestone Golem may actually be better for them than Thalia is. I mean, although he is a faster clock, that's the only thing. So, nothing. Alright, I'm going to play the Spirit out. Smack for 6 here, or 2 rather. 4. Can't do math tonight. Alright, this will come off next turn. Unfortunately, Elspeth's not coming down on time, but that's alright. I think it is much better to goozle their ability to cast spells than it is to promote my own. Toxic Deluge should be a beating here. If they can cast, I mean, they can cast it. It's just if they had it, it would be a beating. That would be one card I would not want to see here, and I cannot stop that with Selfless Spirit, so I just let my dudes die. Looks like they have something. Is it the T-Del? That's savage. Alright, Power Stone, whatevs. Alright, we're going for it. We're going for glory here. Yeah, I F6 through that. That was my bad, guys. I should have plussed that up and made something indestructible. Not that it's highly relevant, but... Alright, they're going to pay 1 for this. Lose some mana off the Worn Power Stone, which really stinks for them. They're dead as dead can be next turn, so they have to really do something right now. Yep, you got it. Bloom is in effect. What else have we got, my friends? Take the draw up to 5, and what is it? They want to hit land this turn. They missed a land drop, so they're drawing 2 lands right now. If they play a land, we know they drew it this turn. If they do not, we know they missed on land, and they definitely want to make a land drop right now. They can still time spiral, but they wouldn't be getting a lot of value off of it because it'd be like, all right, so it's this, and 1 land left open, 1 rock left open. All right, so it looks like they're going to go for a twister or a spiral. That's going to cost them 7 as opposed to 6. They probably want to tap their Bayou as well. I feel like that's what it is. Or it could be like Thousand Year Storm, but Thousand Year Storm does not feel great against Thalia. If it's all the manas, then yikes. Expel? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. No clue. Alright, it is Time Spiral. Alright, go ahead, my friend. I don't feel like this is going to benefit them. Like, I guess they make a land drop and they're up to 4 at that point. But, like, Thalia is just so hard to deal with, right? They're up to 4 or 5 mana in pool. They can untap their lands. Yep. So with a land drop, this puts them up to 5 mana. Yeah, Storm is really tough. Alright, lands. 5th land. They can't cast the Confluence here to bounce, so I don't know what they're doing here. Muldrifter? Muldrifter Hardcast? They're still dead. Right? Basically, they have to kill me with spells this turn. They have to kill me with, like, Brain Freeze or Tendrils of some variety. And I think Brain Freeze is going to be a tall order. Right? Ponder, cool for 2 mana. Ponder becomes a much worse card when it says blue and 1 at the top of it. Certainly does. Probably still playable. Not in Vintage, but, yeah. Probably not in Legacy either, but probably in Modern. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. The 1 mana variety cantrips are obviously very, very scarce, and the more powerful they get, like Ponder, obviously the better. Ponder probably is singularly the most powerful. Brainstorm is more powerful in context because of fetch lands, etc. But alright, Fast Bond, cool. You're still at 1 mana. So even if they have to have 1 payoff card and they're staying at the same mana amount. So 1 Gush. Okay. That takes them up. How can you get there? Yep. The Gush Bond engine. Alright, I'm going to yield to Gush. Down to 6. Alright, down to 5. Okay. Dark Ritual into Storm. I don't feel like they're going to be able to go through a circumlocutus tutor route to do this. If this is just a draw 7 again, this is not good for them. Okay. Yawgmoth's Will for what? I guess they could have more lands in hand. Cool, land Gush. This is not benefiting them, though, I don't think, at this point. Yeah, they're just done. Yep, Thalia got him. Alright, so Death and Taxes, again, kind of crushing Storm Dreams. Actually, guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on a quick break. I'll be right back. I got to use the restroom, and we'll finish up the conclusion of this draft. Right back at you guys. Alright, guys, back. And going into round 3. Finals, I suppose, for this league. We'll see how we finish up. White Weenie, I think, tends to, in general, be like a 2-1 deck if you have a good build of it. I don't think it's the best deck whatsoever in the cube. I just think it's one of the easier decks to corner in the cube and do pretty well with if you play it tightly. Alright, we're playing in stacks. Well, this hand's certainly not a toss back. I'm going to keep this, especially on the draw. It's got interaction for a 1-drop if they have a creature. Turn 2 threat, turn 3 threat or protection. Seems good enough to me. Alright, land, go. Alright. I wonder if they'll counter this guy. It's not really a good card to counter or kill, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a substantial threat. Best draw on the deck is actually, I don't know what the best draw is now. I mean, probably a fetch land to find my white-black fix to play out the Title of Scholar and then plow whatever they're doing right now. Okay. This is playing... Oh, the Predator. Well, ask and you shall receive, right? I'm going to do that first, because I'd rather have that get dazed, or not get dazed, than this get dazed. Alrighty, go ahead, my friend. Jace does not look great on this board. They will likely not play it. They could. Either way, the Jace dies. If they bounce something, it dies. If they draw cards, it's going to die. They could plus it, and it still dies. Okay. Okay, they're going to draw. They're basically going to pay 4 mana to do a Brainstorm, which is great by me. Alrighty. Seems good. Okay, we're going to kill that dude. Cool. Sure. Okie doke. Alright, go ahead and cast your card. This will be the Venser. Oh, it'll be the Hulk, I guess. But the Hulk's not going to be able to Hero's Downfall anything. I don't mind the Hulk, so I'll just use the Gideon on it. Oh, okay. Nope. So we know Torrential Gearhulk in this card. Okay. Okay. Hero's Downfall is not going to kill Gideon. He's indestructible right now, actually. I don't mind tossing out the Palace Jailer here. That's fine. It does nothing. Okay. He is indestructible, unfortunately, at this point. They had to do it before combat. Alright, Selfless Spirit. And Gideon. Go. Or Kithian, rather. Yeah, land tax. So, I think we are already good on that front. They can tap my team down and try to go for a draw step here, which I think I'm fine with. Or they can try to bounce with the Leonin Relic Warder, which I'm fine with, I think, as well. And get a free Mystic Confluence out of it, which is annoying, but it's fine. Okay. Okay, you get that back. Okay, what else? Okay. Want to bounce more of my dudes? They can. The problem here is we're just seeing more cards, right? Alright, so that goes back. Okay. Okie doke. Alright. And we're done. Okay. Alright, so against blue. Bitter Blossom tends to be pretty decent against blue. So I think I'm going to sideboard that in. The hand disruption is probably quite good. I like Hero Bladehold quite a bit less. Yeah. I think we just go like that. Yeah, this hand's perfect almost. This is a keeper. Could get Fatal Push. Nope. No interaction for it. Doke. Okay. Cool. What is this name? Could name Smuggler's Copter. Black Lotus. Okay. I think I'll trade here. Yep. Okay. See what's going on over there. They can counter this if they'd like. Okay, looks like they're going to counter it. Maybe not. Nope, they're taking the damage. It's going to be a remand. Thirst, okay. Maybe they're a reanimator deck. That could be bad for us. We don't have any interaction right now, but we can use that to... Actually, this will help inform what we keep with Smuggler's Copter if this resolves. Wonder if they have Daze in hand. This deck does not look like I want to play Daze that much. I mean, it's pretty blue-based, but I didn't really see any reanimation stuff going on. It just seemed like they were kind of like a mid-range deck. Stacks. I think this is a player I know. I think I've played this player before. Don't recall, though. Alright, Warm Power Stone. Yep. Okay. Yep, preordain. Islands? No island's bad for them. Could have Maelstrom Pulse or something. I think what I like here is just playing Scrap Heap Scrounger out. Bitter Blossom out. Suppose there's some equity to doing at least one of these after combat. I discard that, keep a Jailer. Alright, yeah, there is. Okay. At a minimum, if they cast this thing out, then I have a pretty good next turn with Jailer. You can play the J sound if they want. Nope, they do not want. Okay. Jailer. Alright, what do we got? Alright, we know at a minimum they have the 6-drop available to them. Which does what here? Okay, attack with 3, flip my thing, which means I can still cast Elspeth and put a 1/1 into play and probably still have lethal on the following turn. Okay. They gotta do something here, right? So they're gonna cast their Hulk out, probably Hero's Downfall, one of my things, and still leave me with a bunch of flyers. Seems good. Okay, Hero's Downfall, probably what? I don't even know. Maybe the Palace Jailer? Maybe? I don't know. Like, I really don't know. They probably block the Palace Jailer and kill, like, the 1/1 flyer? I don't know. I don't know here, guys. Their deck seems sweet, but it's... I don't know. I just don't think there's... Alright, the Palace Jailer. Whatevs. That doesn't matter if that dies. If you have to actually hit me with one of your cards, which is nigh impossible. Alright, another option here is... we do this... this, and then leave up the Scrap Heap Scrounger. I think that's better, actually. What, Toxic Deluge? Okay. Okay. I'm going to block with the Smuggler's Copter sitting back, right? I mean, if they have Abrupt Decay, they can blow it up. Alright, guys. Well, there you go. Another 3-0, 6-0 sweep with black-white, death and tax, just death and taxes. Black-white in this case, with a strong option to splash in green. That is the 6th time I've drafted this deck. I've been I've gone 3-0 with it 4 times and 2-1 with it 2 times. The strategy does appear and is essentially forcing, but it's forcing on pretty good understanding of the cube and what folks want to draft in cube. I've drafted other decks. I've used other drafting techniques, and I've actually had pretty good success. I think this is my 10th win, and I've won 4 times with this deck. So 6 other wins at some point in time with, probably more normal or typical cube draft decks. But I have picked up this deck quite a bit. Maybe this is 5 for this one. I don't know. Because I do think it's actually a really good archetype in Vintage Cube. I think quick aggro control tends to be really good. And I've had good success with it. A lot of folks will talk crap on it and say it's the worst cube deck. I don't tend to agree with them. I think it is the hardest to play to 100% correct. I don't know if that's true. Storm is generally pretty hard to play in cube, but if you have the best of Storm decks, if you play it right, it always will win. If you have the best Storm deck, it requires picking up a lot of power, a lot of really good cards that are kind of hard to string together. It really depends on how the packs fall, and then also that no one else is in your deck. This archetype is a lot easier to draft. If you watch my videos, it's not hard. It's not a hard draft technique. It's essentially forcing it. Is what it is at the end of the day, or at least staying open for the first couple picks, and then seeing if anyone else is in it, and then dipping your toes into it, and just going full bore for it, because folks don't tend to jump into White Weenie or just Death and Taxes, as I like to call it, until after the first wheel of pack 1, and they realize, hey, my dreams have been crushed. I can't do this cool blue deck. Now I'm gonna have to draft. Red deck wins are like White Weenie. And if you tend to preempt that, you can kind of kill that dream as well and just kind of keep it open on wheels and just get a lot of cards and have a lot of range in your sideboarding options. And as you saw there, we even had pretty good mana. Our mana was pretty sick. I mean, we were able to sideboard kind of interestingly against the green deck with Ophiamancer, Bitter Blossom against the bluish control style deck. That had a bazillion cryptic commands and 2-for-1 counters, or 3-for-1 even as it may be with Mystic Confluence. But at the end of the day, just good old aggressive cards can do a lot of work, even in Vintage Cube. So I hope you guys enjoyed, another draft of this Curve Tech beauty, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. Enjoy, and again, Happy New Year's.